Good morning, everybody. J.R. Fisher here. It is a Monday morning. We're inching towards the end of March. I want to welcome everybody today. This is your training. This is for you guys. I do these live trainings in the morning to help you start, run, and grow your online business. You could do me a huge favor right now. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down there. And don't forget, ring the bell. Turn the bell notifications on so that you're notified every time I go live. Or what? Every time I upload one. So who we got in here today? James Breen, my buddy. James, can you hear me? You're my sound check guy. James always lets me know if people can hear me. It's sunny and 63 in Savannah. What is it in San Diego? It's been warm. It was like 86 yesterday. Let's see here. It's 64 here, James, and it's going to be 79 today. So that's a pretty nice day. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with any day I wake up. I mean, in all fairness, right? Because one day we will not wake up. So we want to do whatever we can while we're here. Guys, I love your comments. I love your suggestions. I love your questions. Please put those in the chat. That's super important to me. Hey, Paul, what's going on? You showed up today. Your alarm went off. He says loud and clear. Cool. He can hear me. And I want to talk today about files. Gosh, that sounds boring, doesn't it? Files? Who the heck wants to talk about that? Well, I'll tell you, if you get this part handled, if you get your files handled, your entire life and your entire business will be so much easier. I promise you it's going to be so much easier. I'm going to tell you kind of my file organization and what I do and why I have zero paperwork in my life. I mean, none. If I showed you around my office here, you'd see no paperwork, nothing. I don't have paperwork. And the reason for that is I wanted to be, I guess more efficient with my life, and I figured out paperwork wasn't going to do it. Yes, I remember to hit the thumbs up. Thank you so much, Paul. Did you remember to hit the thumbs up? Get everybody to do that. Everybody coming in right now. I got more people trickling in. And you know, this paperwork thing, it's antiquated. I mean, paper is really done as far as we go. And if you don't believe me, think about Bitcoin. Okay, what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a line of code, and that's taken the place of a dollar bill. And I know it's scary and it's hard to understand, and I've just wrapped my head around Bitcoin. I've been thinking about Bitcoin for about 4 years and trying to understand how it works, and I finally get it, that there's an online ledger of all this. Could that ledger be breached? I don't know, but now I know how we keep track of Bitcoin. I get it, okay? I get how it's done, the blockchain technology, but it's taken me a while. But what we're here today to talk about is this paperwork nightmare. I used to have an inbox, and it didn't mean that it was an inbox. It was just a box full of paperwork. And then I would have more paperwork on another corner of my desk, and more paperwork in the middle. And when I needed something, I would grab that stack of paperwork and I would start, just flailing through it and trying to find the receipt I needed, or the form I needed, or the invoice I needed. And it was a nightmare. And I decided one day that I was no longer going to deal with paperwork. And this training today will really help you out, guys. I'm dead serious about that, about getting your life organized, because we don't need paperwork anymore. The problem with paperwork is it takes up space. It costs us money. We really can't just go grab the piece of paper we want. We have to file through other papers to get to it. Even if it's in a filing cabinet and we have it in folders, okay, you're going to have to go through the other ones to get to that one folder. Whereas if you have everything digitized, and I'm going to talk about different ways of doing that, cheap ways, expensive ways, the best ways, but if you have it all digitized, you don't have to worry about that anymore. And I mean literally, guys, you don't need any paperwork. You don't need receipts for your taxes. You need nothing. There are actual, and let me see if I can find it here. There's actual apps that you can use to scan whatever you have and then put it in your digital folders. And there's some higher tech and lower tech ways of doing it. But bottom line is, you don't need paperwork. And if you get rid of all this paperwork, I'm looking for something as I'm talking to you here. Let me see here. There it is. There's the one I want. One thing I want you to look at is Cam Scanner, CAM. Let me put this in here so you guys know. This is an app you can put on your phone, so no matter where you're at, if you have a piece of paper, you can get rid of it. The one thing you do need for your office is a shredder, okay? Because some people are still going to send you documents and you want to be able to shred those things. But get app, let me see here, cam scanner. There it is. Okay, so there I just put the app in the chat section there that I'm talking about. But with this app, you can scan in anything you want and put it on a file. Now, let's talk about some of the different ways that you can store your stuff here. And I've made some notes to myself here. The first thing we can do is we can keep it in the cloud. What is a cloud? A cloud is nothing more than somebody else's server, okay? There's really no cloud up there. There's nothing in the sky. It's just a place that we can put it storage-wise. Now, I use several different ones, and I want to talk about all those different ones. You can use Icloud if you have an Apple product. Icloud will actually sync with your phone, your iPad, your laptop, and you can, whatever document you have, it automatically goes to the cloud. Now, the problem with this is several that I have. You may have some personal things that you don't want on the cloud. It may be pictures, it may be documents, and it may be stuff that's so sensitive that you just don't want it on the cloud. So I have my iCloud turned off because I want to make that determination what goes, to my online storage and what does not go to my online storage. The other one you can use Google Drive. I also have Google Drive. Excuse me. Let me get through the stats real quick. Apple's iCloud gives you 5 gigabytes of storage for free. Now I have so much on there that I have to pay more. Okay, so I do pay more to do that. And if you go over that, you're going to have to pay. Now I think I only pay like $2.99 a month, but it is another $2.99 I pay a month. The next one is Google Drive. Now Google Drive will give you 15 gigabytes of free storage. And I checked before I did this training this morning, and I think I've got like 3.5 gigabytes on there out of 15. So at 15, you got to start paying. There's also one called OneDrive. That's for Windows. And you get 5 gigabytes of free storage there. And that sounds like a lot, but it really isn't, guys, once you start putting pictures and videos or whatever else you got. And the last one, and I use, I use the Apple one, and I use this one. This one is Dropbox. I also use Google Drive too. Dropbox is another good one. I pay for Dropbox because my storage is pretty big there. I keep most of all my documents there. Now the cool thing about Dropbox is that I can allow other people to have access to some of the files. So I can do a folder in there, and I can say to my video editor, I can say, well, here's a folder of YouTube videos that need to be edited. And I can allow him access to that, but he doesn't have access to every single thing I have on Dropbox. So that's kind of a cool thing. You can do the same thing on Google Drive. You can allow people to have access to certain things that you have on Google Drive. Now, what do I like about it? They're easy to use. They really are. But with software, you can schedule backups and never really worry about having to put stuff there, which is kind of cool. What I don't like about it, excuse me, I got to get my throat clear today. So do you keep any files in an external drive? See new external drives or 2 terabytes? Yes, I do. I just haven't gotten to that yet. I do have an external hard drive too. Hard disk drives, run the risk of failure. They really do. So that's why I don't keep too much on that hard disk drive. You can lose them. You can just lose what you got. And they really should be stored off-site in case of a fire. So if you do have a hard drive, the thing is, if you're really depending on that hard drive and something happens to your house and it burns down, heaven forbid, then you're going to have to get that drive, so the drive can't be at your house. So, how do you constantly use a drive that can't be at your house? That's a problem. The next thing you can do, you could burn it to a CD, a DVD, or a Blu-ray disc. Now, those are pretty good because you really don't have a failure. Like if you have a hard drive, those things can fail. They do and can fail. And you can also store it safely in a second location, like a deposit box or something like that. But you're going to have to constantly do more discs. So the next thing I'll tell you about doing CDs or DVDs is it's time consuming for backups. I don't use those. On Apple, we don't really have a DVD or a CD drive. And I think most computers are being made without them now, so you just don't have it. And also, you're going to assume the future of CDs, that they're going to be around, and I don't think they're going to be. So, that is a way to store things, but I don't think it is a long-term solution to store anything. And you can really get pricey if you have to buy a whole lot of these discs and constantly do it. They can get very, very expensive. Now, the next thing you can do is put it on a flash drive. And I've got flash drives everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And that's the problem. Now, what do I like about them? They're affordable. They're cheap. You can get a flash drive, 10, 15 bucks. They're portable. You can take them with you. That's kind of cool too. They're available in USB 3.0, which is nice. What I don't like is that they're really easy to misplace. And when I said I've got them all over the place, I mean literally in the bedroom, in my office. I have some in the closet there in storage, and I don't even know what's on them. So that's a problem. So to access those things, I've got to like maybe write something real tiny on there or put a piece of paper around it, which I have not done, I'll tell you. So that's difficult, and they're not always durable. Those things break, and they have very, very low capacity. So, that's a problem. But overall, I think the best thing to do is to have some online storage. And if I had to recommend anything, I would definitely recommend using Dropbox, using Google Drive. I think those are some of the best things, and using Icloud, of which I use all three of those things, okay? I think those are all awesome ways to do it. Now, what do you use? I'm curious. Put that in the chat section. What are you using right now? What have you used in the past? What is your, I guess, apprehension about storing your stuff someplace else? Because I know that was an apprehension for me. I don't want to store myself stuff someplace else because I don't want somebody to get access to it, right? Because it's some private stuff, some documents or papers or whatever. I don't want people to get access to that. Now, there are other apps you can get on your phone, and I downloaded one a while back, and I want to find it real quick, guys, because I think it's pretty cool. It's called Photovolt. So if you want to keep your photos on your phone, but you don't want anybody to get to them, you can get Photovolt. Let me put this in here. Still clearing my throat. It's early in the morning, getting older here. Get Photovolt to store photos on your phone. Period. Perfect app. Okay, so Photovolt I like a lot. It cost a little bit of money. I can't remember what it was, maybe 10 bucks or something like that. But it has like a double layer of protection. To open Photovolt, you have to put in a code, and then you're going to have folders in there, and each folder is also going to be password protected. So if you've got photos of the family you never want to lose, but you don't want to put them up online, or videos or whatever you got, you can store them to Photovolt, and they'll be stored there safely on your phone. And what it is it creates like this layer of protection between your photos and people getting access to them. They aren't stored any place other than your phone, and they can't be taken off your phone, okay? And the cool thing about it is, let's say you've got some photos and you want to put them in Photovolt. Once you put them in Photovolt, you can delete them off your phone, so you don't have them stored in two different places. So that's something else I would tell you. But this has really enabled me to get rid of all this paperwork. And it's so easy. Like what I do is I have a bunch of videos, obviously, for YouTube, because I do YouTube videos. But I will make a folder in there, and like one folder is YouTube videos that need to be edited. I have another one that's YouTube videos that are edited. So I can go in there at any point and look and see what I have in there. I can search my videos. So if I did a video on SEO and I'm like, oh gosh, if you had that on your drive somewhere, it could be kind of difficult. But in Dropbox, it's in certain folders. I can search this folder. I can search the entire files of what I have. And it just makes it so easy. If I had to look through a bunch of paperwork to find stuff like that, that'd be a pain in the butt. But what it's enabled me to do is to stop looking through piles of paper. And I can't count how many hours, how many days, weeks, months, years I probably spent just looking through paperwork trying to find something. I don't do that at all anymore. I log into wherever I know I've put it, and I type in some keywords, and like Dropbox, they take the title of whatever it is, and you can search by that title or any combination of those keywords, and you can find whatever file you want. That's pretty darn handy. All right, let's see what you guys are saying here. I have an SSD for my Mac Mini, and I'm not sure if it's working. Well, I'll tell you the good thing about Apple. You can just call them. You can just call them and have them look through your stuff, and they'll do it for free. They have some of the best support of any company I've ever seen in my life. second only to maybe Chick-fil-A and In-N-Out Burger. They're pretty good too. I'm getting a message that my phone storage is low, and the message is to delete photos. Okay. Well, you can, but why not just upload those photos to Google Drive? Why not just upload them to Dropbox? I mean, Dropbox, you can get 15 gigabytes. And then you don't have to worry about it, and you have them, you can access them as long as you have access to the internet. That's what I would suggest you doing. And then you can go ahead and delete them off your phone. Now, James, I don't know if you have an Android device or if you have an Apple device. I would give you different advice on either one. But I know also Apple, because I have Apple, you can increase your storage. I increased mine, and I want to see what it is real quick. Let's see here. Notification sounds have to. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't know if I could even find it right now. Look in general and see if I can find it. iPhone storage, there it is. I've got 77 gigabytes of 256 gigabytes used, and that's in my media. Now, I pay $2.99 a month for that extra storage there. But it'll give you other things in here too, like it's got recommendations. It'll say, offload unused apps. Save 9.99 gigabytes. It says automatically offload unused app when you're low on storage. Your document and data will be saved, so you can do that. Review large attachments, it tells me. Save up to 18.36 gigabytes. See photos, videos, and attachments taking up storage and messages, and consider deleting them. So if you're sending photos and videos and messages, that also gets stored. If you don't want it in that message anymore, you don't need it anymore, maybe you just took a video to show somebody some food at a restaurant, get rid of that stuff. That's another thing you can do. Because a lot of this stuff that's getting stored, James and everybody else out there, you don't really need. I mean, you just don't need it. And then it'll give you other things in here, like it's asking me, do I really want this teleprompter, all this stuff stored in here? That's 4 gigabytes. Probably don't. Well, I don't know. Maybe I do want my scripts in there. Messages. And it just shows you all these things where you're storing stuff. Facebook. It's got a bunch of different things in here. So if you've got an iPhone, you can go in there and you can look at your storage and see where you stand on your storage, and it will give you the suggestions. But guys, if you don't have something like Dropbox, or if you aren't using something like Google Drive, I mean, it's free. It's free. Why not use Dropbox and get you 15 gigabytes of storage? I mean, that's pretty darn good to have that. Now, is that a tremendous amount? No, because I have the paid version. And I have to have the paid version because I have a lot of stuff. I mean, I have, hundreds and hundreds of videos that I store, because I have a YouTube channel, which you guys are listening to right now. You know that. This is another video that will get stored there. So it's like, and each time I do one of these live videos during the week, I could talk for 30 minutes or so. 30-minute video times, 5 was 2.5 hours a week, times 4, I'm doing my math in my head, it's 10 hours a month. That's a lot of storage right there. That could use it up. But I get something like Dropbox. I pay very little for it. It's not expensive. And I have that storage and the really peace of mind, because if I took all these videos and put them on a hard drive, it's free to put them on the hard drive, but you got to buy the hard drive. The hard drive is going to be $150 or whatever for a 2 gigabyte one. And you're going to spend less than that for a year at Dropbox, and you're not going to have to worry about putting that hard drive device someplace else to keep it safe. It's really worth it. It's really worth it. I really do recommend it. And if you don't have a ton of stuff, it's going to be free. You're going to get 15 gigabytes there. You get 5 at Google Drive, and use up all those free areas first. Use your Google Drive. Use what iCloud you have. Use your Dropbox. Use all 3 of those things before you buy anything, and then decide which one's the best one to buy. The one I paid for is Dropbox, and I have a little extra, $2.99 a month with my iPhone cloud storage. But Dropbox is great, man, and it's so easy to organize it. It's so easy to share the files in there. It's so easy to use, and you don't have to worry about looking for stuff anymore. Now, the one thing I'll tell you, this is a big mistake a lot of people make, is they will take whatever file they have and just upload it to Dropbox. The problem with that is the file name is a bunch of letters and numbers usually, okay? So it's not going to tell you, like when I upload something from my DSLR camera, it says D3214. Well, what the heck does that mean? Doesn't mean anything. So what you want to do before you upload any of these files is right click on it and rename it whatever it is. 2012 picnic in the park. That way when you upload it, you can look at the file name and see what it is. Otherwise you're going to be stuck clicking on it and then opening up going, oh, that's what that was again. Okay, I'll put that back down. Make sure you rename all these files. Now you don't have to do it before you upload it. I just find it's easier. You can upload it, open it on line, and then change the file name. But this will keep you a whole lot more organized. You can put in there 2013 tax receipts. That way you can scroll through all your files and you'll know exactly what you got. Now if you're just starting out online, you're starting your business, you're going, I don't need all that. I don't need all that stuff. I don't even hardly have any files. The problem with that mentality is the same problem I used to have, is I didn't realize how much I would end up having on down the road. Now that I have all these files, now that I have all this stuff, to go through all of that would be a nightmare now. I should have started this many years ago, and I didn't, but now I do. And the last thing I'm going to tell you that is really important is to get a password app. Now I have one, and it is called, let me see, I'm going to put it here, this app, because I want you guys to have it. Best password app to have is Insecure. Okay, I knew it wouldn't read that right, so I want to show you guys this app, Secure. And here's the deal. I literally have hundreds of logins and passwords at this point. Hundreds. How did I get there? I have no idea. But it happens. And I will be willing to bet the average person probably has 20 to 25 alone. And to remember all that stuff, guys, is a nightmare. It really is a nightmare, or you got to go look them up. With this password app, I can go to it and I put in one password to get into it, and then it's alphabetically done. So if I need to get into Navy Federal Credit Union, I just hit the N and it goes to Navy Federal. If I need to go to Google, I hit the G and it goes to Google. And all of my passwords are in there. Now you may be saying, well, JR, I don't need to have that at all because I just use the same password for everything. Oh no, you didn't say that, did you? You didn't say that. You didn't say use the same password for everything, right? Because if somebody gets your password, guess what they can do? Break into everything you have. Is that really what you want to do? Do you want somebody to be able to break into every single thing you have? Probably not. And you don't have to change them by much. You can put Muddy Creek 032, and then you could put Muddy Creek 047. You can just change a little bit of it. But I would highly recommend you have different login passwords for just about anything you have, especially if you're using the same email for everything. Now I know most of you are. You probably have one email and that's what you use. I've got I would say a good 15 different emails. So I'm a little diversified in my logins because which email is it that I'm using, and then I've got usernames. So I've got usernames and emails that I log into different sites on. Let's see here. I have a 4-year-old Motorola Play. What is a Motorola Play? Is that like a Motorola phone, I guess? I don't know much about those, but that sounds like that would be an Android device, but obviously it's not going to be Apple. How do I keep track of the files? James, like I said, what you want to do is upload them to something like Dropbox and change the name of the file and then put them in folders. Best thing in the world to do. And I know, I put this off for a long time. I put off this password app for a long time because I was like, oh man, I don't want to put all those passwords in that app. Such a hassle. I don't want to do all that. Oh man, my wife kept telling me to do it. And I finally did it. And oh my God, it was so much better because I was always asking her for passwords because she had stored everything. She had all the passwords. And that's burned up her time. So I didn't want to do that anymore. So man, I highly recommend, guys, if you haven't gotten organized by doing some of these things I'm telling you in this training today, take time to do it. I know it takes time. It's going to take you an hour, 2 hours, maybe a day, whatever. But once you do it, you're going to be freed. I mean, if you looked at my desk now, you'd see nothing but a bottle of water and my tea. That's it. Okay, I got my phone over here. There's nothing on the desk. There's no paperwork. There's nothing bumping into my arm like it used to be. I used to have paperwork that was bumping into my arm. Oh man, it drove me crazy. Yeah, it's an Android. Yeah, I figured it was. Get that app. Everybody get that app right there, that Insecure. I don't have an affiliate association with them or anything. I'm just telling you it's good. Are there other ones out there? Yeah, there's plenty of them. It's just the one I use, the one I like. I'm not saying it's the best one or anything. I'm just saying it's a app. It does work well. I've had it for years, and I do recommend it. It's cheap. It's really cheap. I can't. Let's see if it even says what that app cost. Probably won't show it to me since I have it on my phone, but I will look real quick. Secure search. Yeah, it's not going to give me the price, unfortunately, but I think it's like $10-12. I mean, it's nothing. It's negligible. I mean, to have all your passwords in one place. I mean, if you spend, hours looking for all these passwords and having to reset them and getting an email and doing all that stuff, just store them. Just store them insecure. So here's what we've got. Store your stuff online. Get rid of all your paperwork. I gave you an app to scan stuff. So if you've got something important, and the 5-4-3-2-1 rule really works. And if you don't know about that, let me see. Watch video of Mel Robbins on 5-4-3-2-1. There's a great video that will help you get organized, and it's called the 5-4-3-2-1. And if you watch, she does a TED talk on this. But basically, in a nutshell, do everything as soon as you need to do it. As soon as you think about it, do it right then. Just do it right then. So if you get a piece of paperwork in, don't say, yeah, I'm going to scan that tomorrow. No, pick up your phone and scan it right now and then put it in the shredder and you're done. Because not only do you have the weight of the paper, you have the weight that's on your brain of going, I got to scan that thing tomorrow. I got to scan those bills tomorrow. Don't put that weight on your brain, guys. Get rid of it. Just get it out of your life. Get rid of it. Do everything on the spot, especially paperwork. Don't ever pick up a piece of paperwork and put it in a pile and say, I'll go back through that later. It's going to fall into just, a business category or a personal category. If it's business, you might as well just go ahead and take care of it. You just might as well. Now, if it's things like credit card statements and stuff like that, you can have all those turned off. You can do all those online. I pay all of mine online. I don't send out any checks to anybody. Don't have any need for checks. As a matter of fact, we're moving our office from San Diego to Austin, Texas, or Georgetown. And we were trying to decide if we even want to get any checks. Do we need checks for our business? We pay everything online or with a card. And then we've determined there were a couple instances where you'd need a check. You'd have to hand somebody a check. Like when we went and did our design center for the house, they had to have a deposit and they took checks. I'm like, really? You take checks? And that was all they would take is checks. So we had to have a check for that. So unfortunately, we're going to have to order some checks. That's just the way it is. I find it's worth the time to delete both files no longer needed, as well as apps that you don't use that slow your phone down. Yeah, and Paul, like I said, if you have an iPhone and you go into your storage, it will show you the apps that you're not using, and it'll ask you if you want to delete those apps. So that's a really good point. I don't know if Android does that. It's been years since I've had an Android, but yeah, your phone will even educate you. It'll say, hey, silly, why don't you get rid of these apps? You don't use them. So go through your phone, check that stuff out, see if it works for you. I have important paperwork scattered on the kitchen table, counter, dining room, even piled on my bed, and I have a hard time finding bills, etc. Yeah, James, get rid of it. Just get rid of all of it. You don't need any of it. Nobody can convince me they need a piece of paperwork unless it's a birth certificate or social security card. I couldn't say it. Those are the only two things you'll ever need. That's it. Your driver's license, obviously, your car registration, yeah. But anything outside of that, you don't need it. And I'd be willing to bet a lot of those things, your birth certificate, social security card, your car registration, all those things are going to go to your phone. I bet they are. Passport, that could literally go digital too. I have a passport because I travel a lot, but haven't in the past year, obviously. But I think a lot of those things could go to your phone. If you go to Asian countries, I was there years ago. I was in Bangkok in 2017. Everything was on your phone. You paid for the subway on your phone. You paid for everything on your phone. There's so much more advanced than the U.S. The U.S. were pulling out money and credit cards and doing all that. Everything was on their phone. Everything. So I think it's going to go that way in the U.S. I don't know how it could not go that way in the U.S. We do need to celebrate a little bit today. What do you think the celebration is today? Something happened today that changed the trajectory of the world. Something happened today. If you know what it is, put it in that chat section. Put it in that chat section. Something really big, and there's your hint, happened today. Something really big that allows the world to move forward again because it was stopped. The world was stopped because of this situation, and it was fixed because of what happened today. Do you know what that was? I'm going to give you a second to put that in the chat section there. And you know, James, another thing, while you guys are thinking about the thing that happened today, let's see here. Will a cop accept a picture of my driver's license on my phone? No. Right now, you got to have a driver's license. Got to have a driver's license right now. It's required. That should make moving to Texas easier. By the way, I hope construction's going well. It is. I got some pictures the other day. Things are going very well. They got the electrical in. They've got the HVAC, heat and air conditioning, all that stuff. Paul, you got it. Paul got it. The boat got freed. The Ever Given, which is a 1,300, guys, 1,300. That's 4 football fields plus. 1,300 foot ship got freed today. That means that the 400 ships that are backlogged can start going through the Suez Canal once again. So it did get freed, so that's a pretty cool thing. It slowed down the world for a little bit. Ships were having to go the long way around, which they haven't had to do since the 1700s. So it really changed shipping. Ever Given is floating again in the Suez Canal. You got it too, James. You guys know it. So that's a really good thing. Ever Given. Big ship. It held, what was it, 20,000 containers. What is a container? A container is that big thing on the back of a semi-truck. The whole size of a semi-truck, that is a container. And it held 20,000 of those things. This particular ship had 18,300 of them. Not that I'm looking at all the statistics, because I am. I'm really interested in that stuff. And they got it freed, so that's a good thing. Okay, not that they wouldn't. We all knew they would at some point, but it was an interesting thing to watch for almost a week. Got stuck on Tuesday. Today's Monday, and it's finally free. Good session today, guys. Today, after this, so you know what my day is going to look like. After this, I have a meeting with Google Ads rep. We're going to be working on my ads, and then after that, I have a meeting with ClickBank to give them input on their user process. They're interviewing me for that. So I've got a busy day. Then after that, I got to write scripts for videos. I got to shoot either on Tuesday or Wednesday. Probably going to be Wednesday because, you know, writing these scripts, I've only got, I think, 2 done right now, and I need at least 12. So I've got a lot to do there. I made many trips to the Suez Canal. Did you really? I've never been there, never seen it, don't know anything about it. How goes lining up the actual move? We're in the process. I mean, we're getting stuff in the way, you know. We still got a few months, so it's not like we can, you know, put stuff in boxes or anything like that yet. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Guys, do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit that subscribe button down there. Don't forget to ring the bell. If you haven't given me a thumbs up, please do so. That thumbs up really matters, guys. You know, I was talking to somebody about the algorithm, and they were saying that's one of the major things right now is that thumbs up. So hit that thumbs up. Okay, you can only hit it once. If you hit it again, then it unthumbs up me. You don't want to do that. So yeah, that's it. If you like this session today and you got something out of it, put in the chat section there what you thought of it. I really would appreciate that. If you like it, if you have ideas for other things you want me to cover, I will do so. I can't always just tell you how to make money. I got to tell you how to get organized, right? Because you make money and you're unorganized, you could lose your money, all right? And I was not an organized person when I started this. Trust me on this. I was not organized. I'm a lot more organized than I was. Do you know of an app or software to build a course that can template modules? You don't really need that. Digital Course Designer, which is the course I'm going to come out with, is going to show you how to build the course. And then in Kartra, it's already set up that way where you can just add modules. And in Digital Course Designer, I instruct you exactly how to set up your modules, categories, all your files, everything in there. So that's actually in the course that I'm doing right now. Thanks a bunch for your valuable suggestions. Pete and blessings. Peace. I know what you mean. Always, everyone. Love going through your older videos, sir. Oh my God, please don't go through my older videos. They're horrible. 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 How did I do those videos? But you know what, guys? Don't fear. You got to go through those. So if you're thinking about doing videos, just go ahead and get rid of the bad ones by just doing them. You got to do them. I know I did. And you know what? I'll probably look at this, 5 years from now and go, oh my God, that's horrible. How did you have that bell? And how did you have this gladiator? And how did you have that backdrop? Why'd you do that? And I'll say, I don't know. At the time, it seemed right. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and get to work now. I really appreciate you being here. You guys have an awesome day. Love each and every